Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Josh Vogt, publisher of Personal Fitness Professional, or better known as PFP. In just a few minutes, our presenter today, Carol Ann, a health and fitness entrepreneur and Fit Tours head trainer and education team leader, will bring you today's webinar titled Increasing Your Revenue by Specializing Your Brand Power. 5 very important reasons for obtaining specialty certifications and continuing education. Before we begin, I'd like to cover a couple housekeeping items. This webinar is being recorded and will be shared with all of you once the replay link is available, normally within 24 hours or even less. So we'll get that out to you. Also, we'd like to encourage any questions that you might have about the presentation, and you can submit those during the webinar using the Q&A button in the navigation bar. And at the end of the presentation, we will open it up to Q&A. And if you have any technical concerns or issues, please feel free to put that in the chat and we'll try to help you out. All right, Carol Ann, take it away.
Well, thank you so much. And guys, thank you so much for joining us today and taking time out of your busy schedules. I know the world is beginning to open up, so it seems like our jobs, we're getting busier than ever. I mean, we're done. We're done, being cooped up, drinking, eating, all that. And so now your clients are coming back to you. They need you more than ever, which is good news. So today we want to talk about how you can specialize what you're already doing and how that is going to increase your revenue. It's going to make you more valuable. So this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go over these 5 objectives, and then we've got a bonus for you. So we're going to talk about why you need to specialize either in your certifications or why you need to get specialty CECs. And number 1, it makes you more marketable. We're going to get into that. And we're also going to talk about how it provides you more effective referral systems and collaborations. We're going to talk about maintaining your relevancy, increasing your value, and how you can also expand your career, which is huge because we really want to make this fitness industry a career and not just something you want to do on the side or just popping in for a workout class for yourself, but also you're teaching group fitness people. So this is a really good way that you can really expand your career and make it a real true living. And then we've got some bonuses for you at the end. So stick around to the end. So let's talk about, first of all, your brand marketability. So gang, it's no longer just you're being a personal trainer or group fitness instructor. Our consumers, our participants, our clients, they're pretty progressive. They're pretty sophisticated. So they've been around. And it's no longer just that big box gym anymore. So it seems like we have a boutique studio on every single corner. And people are not gravitating to the big box gym anymore. They're coming to the boutique studio. So it's really important that you really drive down and narrow down what it is that you want to do in your fitness career. And so no longer are you just a personal trainer or are you an instructor at a gym or a studio, but now you are a brand. And, we've got thousands and thousands of personal trainers out there or group fitness instructors, but you have to really ask yourself what makes you different from all the other personal trainers and group fitness instructors. There's a reason why people come to you to personal train or come to your group fitness class. It's either your personality or you really connect with these type of people, but you really have to differentiate yourself from the rest of the experts because everybody is an expert out there. And they're really coming to you because somehow you've created a brand for yourself. Not only are you getting out into your local area, but you can also be with Zoom and with our online training, you can actually be an international superstar. But you really have to figure out who you are, what you bring to the table, and how you are different from everybody else. No longer can you be everything to everybody because you will be more valuable, which we'll talk about that later on, if you really zero down what you do. So when you do that, you need to know your avatar. Who is your perfect client? Who do you really want to train and really gravitate towards? And you know, you can be pretty restrictive on who you want to train right now. And so you really know who you want to know, who your avatar is. Who is your perfect client? And with that, you need to know who you are, what you like to do, what you do, and why it matters to your audience. Now we can talk specifically, we can, you know, drive down specific target areas, and that's going to be your audience. So as an example, for someone who likes to work with pregnant women, that could be your avatar. So that's going to be your audience, and that's pretty specific. If you're helping pregnant women exercise, you can do prenatal, postnatal. So that's your audience. So as an example, you need to find out where those people hang out. And that's pretty easy. Once you drill down on who your avatar is and you know who you are as a trainer and what you do and why it matters to your particular audience, you're going to know exactly where you need to go to find those people. So for example, if you know your particular audience and you are on Facebook or Instagram, it's very easy to find out those particular groups. So you just have to search for pre-postnatal groups, and boom, voila. And you're joining that group and you're talking with those people, you're communicating back and forth. But you do have to be careful that you're not going to go in there and have a big old sales presentation. You really want to go in there, build relationships with people, have it back and forth. So that's just an example for example, Facebook groups. Another example would be organizations. So specific organizations that are happening in your local area. Now, I know we may have some specific restrictions on meeting in groups, but find out if there are any groups that are meeting, small groups, or, you know, they have distant groups, safely, socially distancing. So find out who those organizations are. You can even go to companies. For example, if you are doing pre-postnatal care, go to that particular doctor, the gynecologist, and find out, are you guys having any groups meeting, organizations? And then you're going to find out who your audience is. They would love to have you as a guest speaker, even if you're doing it through Zoom or in person. They love having people come in and speak, especially if that is your avatar and you are an expert in that area. So that's just one example, pre-postnatal care. Let's say you specialize in Pilates. Pilates is really exploding right now. And you know, it's funny because maybe many like you, I've been teaching Pilates since 2000, and right now I'm in Athens, Georgia, and we still have people not knowing what Pilates is. They're still asking the question, what's Pilates? What's that all about? So it's still never too late to jump on and really get expertise training in a specific area, just like TRX training. You can take anything that you specialize in and you can make it your brand. And once you specialize in something that's your brand, you can then go out into the community, even internationally, make yourself known that that is who you are. And these are the people that you gravitate towards. So you really want to go the extra mile to expand your knowledge base. So whatever that is that you want to specialize in, dig in, find everything that you need to know about that particular expertise. So that's your brand specialization, your marketing. So now we're going to talk about your relationships with other people, your referrals, your collaborations. So one of the first things that you can do, let's say that you specialize in helping people if they have multiple sclerosis, let's just say that. So when an individual has multiple sclerosis, they probably have chiropractors that they go to. They may be in physical therapy. that particular type of group. Going back to that pre-postnatal care, you want to maybe go to the OBGYN people. So these are all your allied health professionals in your local area. So if you want to cater to, let's say, multiple sclerosis, go to those people, the chiropractors, the physical therapists, start developing a relationship, because they know firsthand who they are seeing. And especially after physical therapists, after they're working with that particular person and they have, that physical therapist does have that medical background. Of course, insurance companies are going to be helping to pay for that physical therapy. But once that physical therapy is over and insurance companies stop paying for that portion, it's almost like something goes off in someone's brain to go, okay, I'm done with physical therapy. That means I'm done with everything else physical. So that's just not the case. And if you build a relationship with that physical therapist, educate the physical therapist on, hey, when you're done with these clients, I could be the next step for your clientele. So let me help you get a referral system going. And then if I have clients that need physical therapy, you're the person that I'm going to go to. So it just seems like physical therapy is really hot right now with individuals. And so really create that relationship. Another example would be to, if you're the person that wants to work with soccer players, or you want to work with swimmers, these are great opportunities that's very specific. So maybe you want to go to the high school, the local high school, or even the middle school, and they're really focusing on their drills. So for example, for basketball teams, they're really focusing on their drills and their movement, but you can go in there and go, I would love to be your strength and conditioning coach for these people. I can help them perform better. And of course, coaches will love that. They do what they do, but I hear so many stories about basketball coaches, maybe even on the high school or middle school level. They really don't know what they're doing in terms of building that strength or performing better. There are some that do, and that's fantastic, but a lot of them will have maybe a low entry, let's say, physical education degree, and maybe they didn't dive into the human performance aspect. So that's where you come in. So you can really drill down that avatar for yourself. Another example would to be, if you are going to establish yourself as the expert in the area, the BNI is a great example to get involved in. And BNI stands for Business Networking International, Business Networking International. And that is especially, now, even if you work for a gym, or if you work for a studio, or even if you work for yourself and you're your own business owner, definitely go to these BNI groups, because it is a referral organization. That's exactly what they're there to do. They're there to refer people to you. And our business is all about word of mouth and getting referrals for the most part, especially if you are working for yourself. They're just not going to come to you. You got to get out there and make yourself known as the expert in specifically what you do. So Business Networking International is a great way to do that. It's very specific and stringent in their organization. You have to be there every single week, once a week, for, as an example, every Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning before everybody goes to work. And so these are business owners, and they only have one seat per profession. So let's say there's 30 people in that organization. In that particular chapter, you meet every Wednesday at 7:30 in the morning until 9 o'clock. You're the only personal trainer or group fitness person in that seat. And it's the job of everybody else in that organization to give you referrals. As a matter of fact, you are judged and you are scored on how many referrals you give to somebody. So when they're out and about, let's say it's an insurance agent, and they get out there and they're talking with another individual, and that other individual brings up, I really need to get into shape and I really need to work with a personal trainer. Then that insurance agent goes, oh, I know exactly who you need to contact. You need to contact Joe. He is like the best personal trainer ever. And then he makes that warm introduction. He lets you guys talk to one another, and then you're off to the races. And it's also a requirement that you meet one-on-one with somebody else in that organization to tell them what you do, what you're all about, and who you're looking for. That goes back to your avatar. So I would highly recommend looking for a BNI group in your local area. I don't know if they're still meeting on Zoom or if they're meeting in person yet, but that is a very high valuable organization to get involved with to get referrals. Another example would be the Chamber of Commerce. That's another way you're going to get yourself out there, build relationships, have those collaborations, referrals. Just get out there and start networking. Another example would be these senior homes. We have a brand new facility opening up just recently, and it's a Presbyterian assisted living or even non-assisted living for our active agers. And so definitely go out to that place, and let's say you are an expert in active agers. So we're trying to get away from seniors or elderly or the frail individual, because not a lot of these people are. They're very active, but yet they need someone that's the expert that can deal with their age group, that understands these little things that come along as you age. So if that's your thing, that is a really hot population to get involved in. I know my personal friend, she does nothing but senior fitness. And that is her niche. That's what she enjoys. She's 65 years old. You would never know it because she is so active. She's so fit. She looks great. And the seniors, they gravitate towards her because she understands exactly what they're going through. And they will pay her whatever she asks for, because that is what she specializes in. And they see that, they see her value, and they will pay for that. But I will tell you, when you build these relationships and these referral systems, it takes a lot of trust in you as the personal trainer or the group fitness instructor, but as the expert, because these people that are physical therapists or chiropractors, they just don't want to refer their clients to just anybody. So you really got to make sure that you understand your knowledge, your expertise, really dig into that and be very specific on who you want as a client. And so it might take some time to build up that trust to where they trust you to know what you're doing and that you're going to take care of their clients. And then once you start to grow that relationship and they start to trust you a little bit and you start to get results with your people, then that trust starts to solidify, and then you can start collaborating together, working on projects together, and then that just builds your referral system even bigger. So not only are you the expert, but you're working with another expert, and that just makes your brand even more powerful to where your avatar sees you two working together, and that just makes you even more, I can't say even more stronger. That's not very correct, right? That just makes you more stronger as a unit to approach your avatar. All right, so next, you want to make sure that you're relevant. Let me just move this over so I can see what's happening here. All right, so you just want to make sure that you maintain your relevancy. That is, back in the 80s, when we did our high-low fitness and we wore leg warmers and our thongs on the outside of our leotards, that was relevant back then. But if I were to show up in that kind of outfit now, and I know high-low is making a big return, but if I were to show up in my bare feet and concrete floor and put on a record, that's not very relevant anymore. Even back in step aerobics, when step aerobics was huge, and we had choreography going, that's really, we still have those classes, but it's not as relevant as it was before. Now it's all about HIIT training and boot camp, and it doesn't have to be so dancey, although we do have that. We do have the dance fitness crowd. So that may be relevant to them, but not relevant to our boot camp people even Orange Theory people, our HIT people. So, so you just have to make sure you're relevant in your area. And again, you're gravitating towards your avatar and you are relevant in the industry. So it even used to be back in the 80s, there were 2 organizations that could provide certifications for you. And then there were really only 2 certifications that you can get. You can get a personal trainer certification and you can get a group fitness instructor certification. And those were the 2 known organizations, and that was ACE and AFA, that were really, really known. And we also had ACSM, but that was more collegiate and more specific in that realm. But in the industry as a whole, it was just those 2 known organizations. And even before then, before those certifications and made you legit, even before then, people would gravitate towards that gym rat in the gym and they would ask them questions. And that was all based on experience, not really necessarily based on scientific evidence. And so people would just go to that gym rat and go, well, what do you do? What works for you? So we've come a long way when it comes to certifications and CEC. So now there's, 100 organizations that can give you certifications. So, just do your homework, do your research. And I happen to be a little bit biased towards FitTour, that we can provide really quality education for you. So you just want to make sure that you're staying current, understand what the industry is doing as a whole, what people gravitate towards, what they're interested in, and then find out more about that. But again, it goes back to knowing who you are, what you do, and why it matters to your audience. So you don't have to just jump on the bandwagon every time something new comes out. Just really know who you are and deliver that. And you just remember, you are your client's expert. They are coming to you because they want to know the information. So that is why you need to stay current with the most current scientific evidence with what you teach, because they're going to ask you, and you are their litmus test to know what's legit. Because you can go online and you can find any information that you want, but it may not be as current. It may be from an article back in 2000. So, that may not be relevant today. As the fitness industry goes along, we're evolving, more science is being done. What you know about nutrition 2 years ago is not the same as what we might know now in nutrition. So here's a way that you can maintain relevant in your industry. You can go to conventions, and I know that the most of the conventions right now are virtual, but they are starting to come back where they are in person. So definitely want to check out those conventions. Where you get your information is not just some article that you pull out of Vogue with health and fitness, although they are getting really good about having expert advice in their magazines and that. But really, to get the true known information is that you want to look at peer-reviewed literature and look at the studies that have been done in that particular topic that you want to research. Also, there's online CEC courses that will help you to remain relevant. Webinars just like this one. There's tons of free webinars out there that you can stay up to date. And then also don't you love my spelling here? Specialty certifications. You can get specialty certifications that can keep you up to date and what's happening in the industry. So the point is, maintain your relevancy. That increases your value as the expert, and people want to come see you because you know what you're talking about. Then you can expand your career with being specialized in the industry. So like I said earlier, we are no longer just personal trainers, fitness instructors. We can't be everything to everybody. So if you really dial in onto what you do, you're going to essentially expand your career. It may seem like it would be the opposite if you're like a general personal trainer or general fitness instructor, because you know generally everything. You're general, right? You're basic. But if you pick one topic, your one area, drill it down, know everything there is to know about that, you're actually going to expand your career. And believe it or not, your avatar is looking for you. You are the product of what your avatar is looking for. So keep that in mind. Again, I can't stress enough, specialize, differentiate yourself. One of the areas right now that's huge is medical fitness. And that is where in the industry, we're trying to take the medical community, bridge that gap to the fitness community. Like I was saying before, when people go through physical therapy and they're done with so many sessions that their insurance company covers, they feel like they're done, and they may not be done. And their physical therapist, if they've got a good one, will refer them to the next step. Here's your next step. This is where you need to go. I've taken you as far as I can. And then just go to the next level. I have this great personal trainer, Melissa, and I'm going to refer you to her because she can help you with these specific things that you're working on. So with somebody that has an injured back and they've been going to physical therapy for that, they know that they can trust personal trainer Melissa to do a good job and to take care of their client that they themselves have developed a good relationship with. So, you know, that's a hot area right now. Those with, let's say, respiratory disease, especially post-COVID, that's going to be a major industry. Those that specialize in respiratory disease and exercise, that's going to be a great area to get involved in. So, you know, let's just say that you've got walking issues, balance issues. You specialize in that. So that, again, will bridge the gap. Also, you've got areas that you specialize in, like clinical disease prevention and management. So, you know, you don't just advertise yourself as a personal trainer. I can help you with weight loss. I can help you with getting tone. I can help you, you know, I can help you in nutrition. You have to get fancy and on how you're going to market yourself and be very clear. I help pre and postnatal women have an easier pregnancy and to get back to their pre-pregnancy bodies. Boom. It spells out exactly what you do. It names your specific avatar, and your avatar, that woman, is looking for you. Also, when you talk about, let's say, behavior fitness, nutrition, weight management, these are all specific things that an individual is looking for. Athletics, sports specific, human performance. If you are the expert in that area, drill it down. Your avatar is looking for you. If you are into yoga, Pilates, and that's what you are the expert in, your avatar is looking for you. If you are an expert in active aging, that age group, those people with specific areas or specific needs, they are looking for you. Those people that need restorative health, they are looking for you. Youth workout people, the youth fitness, those individuals, they are looking for somebody who knows about how they can condition their players to perform better so that they can win. So these are all great areas that you can be an expert in. No longer can you be a basic personal trainer. I'm just putting this in here right here. No longer can you be a basic personal trainer, because that equals struggle. Again, you cannot be everything to everybody. If you drill it down what you want, you can charge whatever you want. People are looking for you and they are willing to pay for it. So try not to have, if you don't want a side hustle anymore, you don't have to keep this in that category of being a side hustle. So you can literally have a legitimate full-time career with steady income once you get into your specialization. So let's talk about increasing your value. So here are some quick facts with fitness trainers and instructors. So in 2020, the median pay for a basic fitness trainer, personal trainer, was $40,510 per year. And that averaged out to be about $19.48 per hour. And so that was the average for the personal trainer. And that typical entry-level education was a high school diploma. Work experience in a related occupation, there's really none. On the job training, it's very short term, and then you're off to the races. So let's say you wanted to go work for a big box gym. They'll train you a little bit, and then they expect you to be able to handle everything on your own. This is really interesting. So the number of jobs in 2019, and I know that was kind of a weird year, but they still did stats on it. There were 373,700 personal trainers out there, fitness instructors. The job outlook from 2019 to 29, it's 15% growth rate. This is what is to be expected, to have a 15% growth rate. The average growth rate is 4%. So this is crazy. Again, people are looking for you. So the employment change will be about 57,600 people. And this comes from labor statistics, these stats. So this is just a regular fitness person. Now, when we are talking about salaries, we're all talking about, of course, it all depends on your geographical location. You may be able to make more in New York or California, maybe in Florida. Those are actually the higher paid personal trainers. So it does depend on your geographical location, your education level. You can make more if you've got a higher education, your certifications. If you've got more certification or specialized certifications, you're going to get paid more. Your experience level, how many years have you been doing this? Also, your specialization. These are all the things that are going to increase your value. And then, so I just want to read this off. This is from National Federation of Professional Trainers. Salary averages continue to improve in both public and private sectors as overall market exposure, demand for training services, and employment opportunities continue to rise. This is what's important. It is important to note that training professionals who have multiple certifications and/or specialty level titles earn even more than those with one certification and limited personal fitness experience. Also from ISSA, which is the International Sports Sciences Association, specialists in the fitness industry can demand and charge more. Like I said earlier, my closest friend in personal training here in Athens, she demands her pay because she is good at what she does. But not only does that increase your pocketbook, but because you have your specialization, you are going to increase your value to where your people are going to want to pay you. So here is just some stats that I found for your, let me do this here so I can get myself out of the way. Just to let you know that this comes from payscale.com for a fitness person. So this is pay for a fitness specialist. And the average pay is $16.91 an hour. So that's just the average. If you went up to the highest part, it's $30.86 an hour. And then if you look over here for your total income for a salary, total pay is anywhere between $26,000 to $61,000. So again, you can make real money. And again, it depends on what part of the country you live in on whether or not that's sustainable. And then experience level, the longer you're in the industry, the more money you're going to make. And that just makes sense. But literally over here in like your mid-career, you start to increase 5%, late career 12%, and then experience, you can increase your income by 70%, which is awesome. Next here, this is, let's say you're a yoga instructor. Yoga instructors can actually charge more. They're more valuable than just a fitness specialist. This also comes from payscale.com. Yoga instructors are able to charging on average $24.96 an hour. The higher ones are $49.45 an hour. If you look at this total pay, it's $102,000 on the upscale for that. So that's just getting you, a little bit of taste of what specialization is. And I don't know why that dipped. I thought that was really interesting when I saw that that, you know, for 10 to 19 years experience, you're at about 35, 75. And then at 20 years, it dips down to 30. So I just thought that that was really interesting. But all in all, no matter what, your pay increases the more your experience. Then take a look at this. Pilates instructors. I just was curious to see what is the average salary in Atlanta, Georgia, where roughly I'm at. The average base pay for a Pilates instructor is $50,133, which is great. A fitness instructor down here is $37,000. Personal trainer is $40,000, and a yoga instructor is $50,000. Check it out, Pilates instructors, $50,133. So very interesting. So I say all that to say you definitely want to get specialized. Find out who you are, what you do, find your avatar. That makes it really clear on who you want to cater to. So here's your bonus, you guys. So FitTour makes it super easy for you to be able to specialize in your interests, what you think you're good at. And so here are CEC courses and certifications that we offer. We have barre, Pilates, the reformer on Pilates, indoor cycling, that self myofascial release, foam rolling, aqua fitness, suspension. So just take a look all the way down that list. And so I asked our company, what are the two most popular specialty certification that our people are looking for? And it's really interesting that indoor cycling and aqua fitness are our two highest specialization certifications to get, which is really interesting. I think after this presentation today, I think we'll have a lot of Pilates instructors. Where can I get where's the money? And Pilates is really booming right now. I'm actually, that's my full-time gig, is a Pilates instructor. So it's very advantageous. I love it. I work with kind of like mid to upper range age groups because it's something that people can do. They love it. They have fun. So that's just to give you an idea of what we offer at FitTour. And because you guys have joined us today in our webinar session, we want to, first of all, thank you for taking your time out to join us. And then we also have some offers for you. So we've got 4 deals for you today. If you are interested in getting some CEC courses, you want to expand your knowledge, then we have our CEC courses for only $29.99. I feel like a sales pitch person after here, but this is so important. If you want to increase your value and make it more appealing for you to be able to reach your avatar, this is super easy, you guys. You can expand your knowledge just with 29 bucks, and that's it. Then if you want to get a certification and you really want to expand your knowledge and you want to have that title, as I'm a certified Pilates instructor, $69.99, and it's all online as well. Then we have an amazing deal where you get all access, and that is you have access to all of our certifications, and that is $30 a month. Now that is a 6-month commitment. Then we have a free certification for foam rolling, and that is so huge. So here down here you have these are the websites if you want to quickly jot it down, but if you just go to fittour.com and the promotion, and we're also going to email this to you, we'll email these links to you, so all you have to do is click on the link and it takes you straight there to your offer. And I'm sure somebody can go ahead and type in, whether it's Melissa or somebody can copy and paste these links into the chat. That way you can have that information as well. So 1 and 2 for our CECs and certifications, here's the link. And then if you want to get all access, the deal number 3, there's the link there. If you want the free certification, that 3rd link down there. So that's it, man. I had to run through that super quick because I know we're limited by our time, but it's such good, valuable information. I highly encourage you to drill down who you are, what you do, and why it matters to your audience. Your avatar is looking for you. So thank you guys for coming today. And Josh, I will turn it over to you in case you want to say something.
All right. Thanks, Carol Ann. Appreciate that. Yeah, we have a couple questions. I guess one of the big ones, probably intriguing, was the salaries. Where did you get the salary information from? What website was that from?
Was super cool. So I went to payscale.com. Payscale.com. And I also went to labor statistics. And I just searched, how much does it, now sometimes it doesn't always come through exactly. So I just kind of, I had to, use specific words like a fitness instructor, even a personal trainer. So search for those titles. And so in PayScale, it was a little easier because you could put in like personal trainer, and then it would have all these other little options for you to pick. So like Pilates instructor came up, yoga instructor. So it's super fun to get in there and to see, what other salaries are. They do also, they ask you to put in, if you're already being like, for example, a Pilates instructor, how much do you make? So that helps them to gather that information. It's from real people putting in their real salaries or how much they make an hour. And so you can make a really good educated guess on how much. And then it also gives you projections, like this is how much money you can make in the future if you get this much experience or that. So it's really cool.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you for that. Next, what do you foresee in the future for specialization? Like, are there, do you see any new trends, any upticks? I know you mentioned like Pilates, medical fitness, being some of the big ones right now as well, but I guess just curious, sounds like they're just curious on what you might see as a future.
Yeah, I definitely see medical fitness. Either that or active aging people. That's becoming our huge population. People, that's our baby boomers. The population is getting bigger, and they're getting little, these people have their little kinks and their twists and all that. And so they are looking for specialized individuals to help them. It's not that cute little skinny little blonde girl jumping up and down in the front of the room anymore. They are savvy, they're more sophisticated, our consumers are, and they can see right through you if you don't know what you're talking about. So the active agers for sure. And I do know that we're coming out with a new certification pertaining to those individuals. So look out for that as well.
All right, great to know. Kind of along that, as you answered that last question, how often are your courses updated? And I don't know if that's something you can answer for Fit Tour, or if that's, when is the material, and how often is it updated? Is it just dependent on demand, things like that?
Yeah, all of that we do. So we've had certifications on sale since the beginning of Fit Tour. So for example, like Pilates and kickboxing, these were a couple of our first certifications that we had. So we do review them often to make sure that they're relevant. And that's one of our points, that they are relevant. Also, we get feedback from our consumers, and they'll ask us specific questions, whatever that question may be, that may spark, hey, maybe we need to take a look at this and update what we have on there. I do know our nutrition program is about to launch, so look for that. So obviously nutrition changes a lot on a regular basis. It evolves, but we will be looking at, because sometimes those like the food guide pyramids is no longer the food guide pyramid, it's myplate.gov. And so we make sure that we update those on a regular basis so that you're current. And then we don't go with fads, but we understand that the trends come along. And so we want to make sure that we're on point with trends, and we look at the industry to see where it's going. And so then we provide education based on that.
Okay, wonderful. I think this might be the last one here, but this is probably more personal for you. Where did you get your Pilates certification?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking. I'm kind of a weird situation, I would have to say, because when I started teaching Pilates, you couldn't call it Pilates. There was a lawsuit that happened with, and I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble, but maybe, I don't know. Sean Gallagher, Romana Krzyzanowska, who is the person that was under Joseph Pilates, they got into a kind of a thing with Balanced Bodies, because Balanced Bodies wanted to call it a Pilates reformer. And so the thing was, you can't trademark the name Pilates. And so you didn't see Pilates before 2000 too much in the fitness industry. We called it something else. And so once that lawsuit all went away, they lifted the trademark off of the name Pilates, and then boom, you saw this big explosion of Pilates. And because Pilates wasn't really in the fitness industry, there really were no real certifications. And so we were the certification. I did go through training, and we called it something else, but they were the same exact movements from Joseph Pilates. And then later on, once I went and got like an official, once the industry got caught up, then I'm actually certified with Club Pilates. There you go. There's the answer. I just recently went through the Club Pilates program. It's fabulous. It's great, but ours is better.
Excellent. So there is another question relative to, again, the pay scale that you were sharing. And the dip that you mentioned, mostly, as I would see it, is due to age discrimination. And it looks like an anonymous attendee said here, I definitely see it in the fitness industry. What, if anything, as an organization, are you doing to help combat this?
That's really interesting that is being brought up. I haven't really experienced age discrimination personally. I've not heard that either. I do know that from what I've experienced, that people generally like an older, not old, but an older person teaching a yoga class, because I feel like the walls come down, the barriers come down, and people don't feel so intimidated. People don't go to yoga because they feel like they're not flexible yet or enough. And that's the reason why we want to come to yoga. We want to feel comfortable enough to quote unquote fail, which is not failing at all. We're getting better. We're going to take you where you are now, and we're going to move you forward to improve. So I personally haven't experienced that or seen that, but I'm not saying that it doesn't exist either. So that's really interesting that's because if it is an issue, then we definitely want to kind of help in that situation. But I feel like as the baby boomers population is getting bigger, we're all moving in that same direction. We're all the same age. So
correct.
That is an interesting point.
Yeah, it really is. And it was an interesting graphic that you shared. So I think it's definitely something for us to look into, as not even you guys, but also us as an organization as well. Yeah. So definitely thank you for bringing that up. Other than that, I think we're set. It looks like we answered the questions. Thank you, Carol-Ann, for a great and educational and informative presentation. We've had a few comments about that. You really even keel right through, and it was very solid information. And thank everyone else for joining the webinar today and for all your questions. We hope you learned a lot of valuable information that can help you build your specialized brand. This webinar, again, it was recorded, and an on-demand link will be available to all registrants, hopefully sometime early tomorrow morning. So thank you again. Stay safe and healthy, and have a great rest of the day. Bye now.